Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. All right, so we're in Long Saddle.
Your mom's long saddle.
3 other things ready for y'all tonight. This was not one of them.
Hello.
Well, we returned to our adventuring party, having defeated the creature that was raising undead and experimenting on town folk that get caught up in everything as the undead horde swept across the land. You disposed of the kettle, I believe, by evaporating the liquid out of it. You took a couple samples of the purple powder and then buried the cauldron, unless I'm mistaken.
I thought we took we take the whole kilo, or do we just take sample?
We have the kilo.
Okay, you have a kilo of purple. Okay, and then y'all got rid of the cauldron somewhere.
Kilo of purple.
We have a kilo of purple.
Usually you want a kilo of Snow White, but you know. Purple.
I don't remember. What did y'all do with the chest of regen agents and stuff?
That was meant to be grabbed, and we hadn't had the chance to go through it. Apparently, it was alchemical supplies.
Yeah, but I mean, did y'all bring that with you, or did you leave it behind?
I remember discussing that chest. It was a big chest. We couldn't throw it all in like a bag of holding. But I don't know. We didn't. Did we bring it with us? I don't remember. Or do we leave it there and we'll come back?
We never unpacked it or did anything. All we did was take the smaller chest and put that in the bag of holding.
That is correct. That makes sense.
Gross.
Well, either you have the chest with you or you don't. Somebody figure that out. But after experimenting with some of the zombies outside, you eventually slayed them all, buried them, and left to come back to Long Saddle. Upon arriving, Lord Avalon, or whatever his name was, Anthlon, was quite relieved that the threat has been defeated and taken care of, and is already mustering his troops here to head back with the refugees to begin rebuilding and resettling, as well as, getting everybody out of Long Saddle here, because the town's a little cramped with all the refugees. And he seems, that matter's behind us. And let's get down to brass tacks on our original agreement. Tell me about the relics.
We didn't find much. The Karl was sling the. I still have this great axe. I don't know if you guys remember, but I have a great axe. This great axe is just thunk on the table. I think it was emblazoned with the seal of the smith. It's was that what you were looking for?
His eyes go wide, and he says, "By God, the rumors were true. It is an actual, authentic." He's now, going all over it, looking at the fine details of it. A legendary weapon. Where did you find it? He's pushing for every detail, where, what else was there? Was there more of these?
I think I look at the airbus this was it, right?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, this was all we have to turn in. But the question would be what you plan to do with such artifacts.
They're highly sought after by collectors.
So are they just a trophy piece, or do they have any other significance?
I guess there's some historical significance for some of the buyers that would be of dwarven heritage, but for the most part, they would be collector's items. They would find themselves into, only the best of the best collections. More than likely, this will be traded up the chain for influence and power when the moment's right. But again, he's pressing for details. Like, where exactly did you find it? Were you able to document or map out any of the fortress?
Well, to put it lightly, we ran into a lot of trouble, and I dare say there would be more down there. I don't necessarily think it would be safe for you to just waltz on in, if you know what I mean.
You weren't able to explore the entire complex? There could be more of these still in there?
By all means, there very much could be more, but I dare say that it would be a difficult task to attain. Will you excuse us for just a moment, please? I would like to.
Yeah. He's like just like handling the axe now and looking it over. He seems very much interested in that, leaving you to sidestep and have a discussion.
Does he
Yeah.
seem to be be forthright with us right now? Is everything kind of above board?
Roll
Everything
insight.
seems genuine. Yeah, I will. I have no idea. I had my character sheet open, but now I don't for some reason. Weird. Alright.
That reminded me, I need to do that more on this character because that is one of the primary things it does.
Oh shit!
It's a 27?
That's an okay roll.
Okay, what was the question?
I want to know everything. No, the question is, does everything seem above board? Does he seem genuinely
Oh.
surprised? Does he seem to be is he like a little kid got his first Lego set? He's like just amazed by it.
Yes, because
Okay.
you've gathered up at this point that there's been rumors of these things, hints of some forgeries passed around and so forth. So to actually see the genuine artifact, it's real. The stories are real. And now his mind is racing of, okay, well, if you didn't explore the rest of it, like, we've got to get down there. We've got to see what else is there to be found.
Okay. Are we aware of these stories that surround this stuff?
At this point, just through your journeys through Long Saddle and Oakhurst and so forth, I would say you picked up on that.
Okay.
We're retconning it.
Okay.
So
what- If
Yes.
we know what it is it? Because I don't know what the story is.
Oh, okay. Well, give me a minute. I'm trying to race to get this book open.
All right.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Does anybody else remember what it is? Because I don't know what it is.
Just woven artifacts.
Okay.
Like Talgar's got one of them. So his longsword.
No, I'm aware of the items, and that they are significant, but it seemed like there was like a story behind them that I was not aware of. If that's not the case, and there's just a story, you don't have to make one up like on the spot. We can just say there's a story and we can move on.
Give me 1 second here.
No, that's all right. Let's push the DM, break his balls, and get him to explore all the lore possible. And then we're like, yeah, we're bored of that, and just move on.
Oh, no, it's just like this was like
that's
several
dumb,
levels
something
ago, and in a whole dungeon, like flipping back to the beginning of all of this. Plus, I needed to know what I actually offered you guys from the beginning.
Yeah, I've got no recollection of that at all.
Yeah, I do not have that in the notes for sure. I don't. I'm looking through my notes if there's anything like
I don't think
around the story.
From memory, he didn't
So-
actually offer us a dollar amount. It was
He
just
offered you 20 gold pieces each just for bringing information back about the dwarven complex. An additional 100 gold pieces if you're able to provide detailed maps.
Oh, I thought we were trying to draw maps, but I don't have that noted anywhere. I do remember something about maps and the whole complex.
You did initially map out some of the stuff when y'all were in the top layer, and then you kind of gave up on it as y'all descended down and didn't make any more.
that seems right.
That sounds about
Accurate. Yeah.
Well, he can buy the first floor and then DLC later.
Okay, EA.
Ooh, shots fired. Would we know the gold value ish of the great axe?
Well, based on as okay, are y'all strategizing over off to the side? Like, because there can be some conversations with him if y'all want to probe for more information, I guess. I'm trying to determine like where we're at because I want to go through the story through him of what this item is.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's an order of operations problem.
If you had to guess, knowing how what other +1 type weapons you would have seen at markets and so forth through travels through the desert and trading, you would know that these fetch could be in the thousands.
Right. Sort of took the quest in the beginning. Now my character's grown. It's kind of like I don't want to do these trivial dungeon diving just to find a few items to sell to wealthy individuals. It sounds dumb.
When y'all set out, it was like, oh fuck yeah, we're gonna be rich.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Exactly.
you burned out a freaking whole hideout of bandits and.
I mean, we went on quite the journey to acquire the artifact, as far as he knows. But I don't feel like being an errand boy for this individual. It seems like he's the one with the fat pockets after we do the hard work. I just don't feel easy about this situation. I'm not sure how you feel. Maybe Vinny, Karl.
Oh, well, this is just the nature of things. He gave us a job. We did the job, and now this is just old business. It's time to close this out. We have
don't
other
know.
things to do now.
What other
We
things?
don't know what he's going to actually. Oh, yeah, what other?
I've been having fun with the travels, going down into the desert and going through the mountains and meeting dwarves and rocks that want to kill us. It's a lot of excitement out there.
Vinny, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. The problem is that this individual, I'm not sure he understands the gravity of the situation and what he offers and what he asks for, he does not understand truly. He's just more of a coin, and I think we can find some better use of our time elsewhere, personally.
I'm just stuck on gravity of the situation because what you do.
He still has a problem that we can be very helpful with, and I think would lead to some interesting discoveries. This undead army didn't come from nothing. It has a source. I think it should be investigated, and I think he'll probably be willing to send us first. And if we do go first, then we get to craft the narrative, so to speak.
I like the way you think.
Now, it's just we can be helpful, and we can help ourselves too. We do both.
Well, Tyee, you seem to have an understanding of the narrative. Do you want to speak to the Baron and see what he says?
Sure. Absolutely.
I head back over to the Baron.
I show go ahead.
Uh,
Before I lean into this thing.
yeah, before you lead into it, Vinny touches your arm and says, "I believe in you," and I give you inspiration.
God damn.
Oh,
So nice
bardic
to
inspiration.
Yes.
Nice.
It's so nice to have on tap.
Nice.
I'm
And
killed
that,
for that on our Tuesday games at times.
that's good because I'll use that, and I'll have my wheel available as well.
Okay. So you reapproach the Baron,
It's fucking disgusting.
still enamored with the axe.
Yeah. So we understand that this was the original agreement between us, and this is what we found. It's not a lot, but you seem happy with it. But let us tell you a little bit of.
You don't understand the fact that the stories are true, and there's further exploration in the complex. it's always rumored that the caches of treasure and weapons were never found.
Hey.
As far as I can recall, when we had discovered this piece, we had pretty well turned out that dungeon. And we were not the first occupants either. There were several others. There were lizard men and orcs. And there didn't seem to be much of the dwarves left. There was a tomb. But that was that, really.
So his face kind of goes sad at the news that y'all did actually explore the whole thing, and that orcs had taken up shelter there.
Are you're
Ken, are you being attacked by a cat?
I know, that's a very
Yeah.
happy or sad cat. It's hard to tell. As we went further, and you have to forgive me, it's all coming back to me, but we did find there was a dwarven fortress that had been overtaken by the Durga. That cat is pissed.
Dude, the cat is pissed.
Right, you muted the mic.
Someone's going to get fucked up.
So you go get a big stick, poke from a distance.
There were quite a bit of Durga that had kind of repurposed it. It was a bit haunted. We took care of that as well.
Hey Ken, man, you're
Good.
hot micing like continuously.
Yeah, it would be. I think it would be worth your while to go check it out. There were a lot of supplies there. Of course, we couldn't bring them all back, but I imagine they've stolen them over time. They might still be good, might still be useful, might be lucrative. But I think that if there is more to these stories that you're talking about, I would personally be interested in pursuing, maybe what else there is to these stories. However, we have not fully solved the problem at hand.
The problem at hand?
This undead army came from somewhere. This man did not act on
Oh,
his
but we
own.
destroyed it. It crashed against our walls, and we pushed it back, and you killed the source.
Well,
We
how
think
do you-
we did, yes. I'm
Yeah.
confident that we did take care of a source, but these things... I don't think we found the source. I have a hunch. I think there's more investigation to be done.
It would be foolish to think that all the problems of the world are faded away. It's just
Very
Not
well. I
quite.
will send some
Right.
scouts if that will put your mind at ease.
Can I
But
insight?
I truly think that the problem has passed us. And we've got to get these refugees back to their villages. The rebuild underway.
Well, let us go. We'll go. Your scouts, let them do their good work here. We're familiar with this enemy now, how it works, how it can be undone. And I think I have a leader too. We have a leader too. And if there's nothing, it'll be quick. It'll be quick work,
But at least
and we'll be
before,
back before you know it.
before we do depart, we should settle the payment of the work we have done, since this was part of the agreement originally.
And plus,
Indeed.
in the meantime, this will let you gather all research, potentially, maybe write letters to people who might know about the dwarven artifacts, and we can get all of our how can you say, ducks in a row, get everything ready.
Very well. If I can't dissuade you from going, then I
don't
think it's
know.
a fool's errand, but very well. Go forth and see if you can find the source deep within the lurk woods. But there are dark things that traipse about inside the lurk wood.
Yes, we're counting on it.
Very well. Well, you brought back one of Durgadin's actual master weapons, and I will give you a fair market value of 2,000 gold for it.
Is this?
Insight check.
Yeah, I was
And I'll use that bardic inspiration on this too. It's a D6, right?
I did also want to insight
Actually,
check
it's a
him as
D8. But
Oh, wow.
It's a D8.
Oh god.
Alright.
Okay, so it's 19 plus 7. It's 26.
And what are we checking?
I want to know if that's the fair market value.
To the right collector, the sky could be the limit on the price. But you really don't know anybody in your circles that would have that type of coin. So you're dealing with a fence, basically.
So does this seem reasonable?
This would seem in line with what its value is. You might be able to haggle for a little bit more, especially considering you've defended the town of Long Saddle and so forth, and are now volunteering to go out again.
ask for more money.
You know, 2,000 gold. That's the handsome sum. The handsome sum. I'm gonna look around. Hands on my hips. 2,500.
Persuasion.
That sounds too cheap. I mean, clearly this is worth 1,000 per man who went into the depths and retrieved it. But I mean,
I will roll persuasion on mine if you want to roll persuasion on yours. I will use
up to the
before I roll. I will use my wheel.
Well, what is the question?
Oh,
what's the price? You're trying to go for 2,500?
I'm going for 25.
and better say Tholnam. Vesmir is going for 1,000 per person, including and of course this 1,000 per person also includes the detailed maps that we have already procured.
Commercial maps.
I rolled a 13.
Roll me persuasion, Seraphic.
Oh, it was almost a 19. That's a 5.
I don't go as high as 2250.
That's a deal. Thank you very much. Very good. Good luck finding a collector for that. I'm sure you have the resources, but the search will be fun, I think. You'll have to let us know what you get for it after. We're not going to shake you down, but I'm very curious to see what you get afterwards, unless you're going to keep it.
It will be hard to let a Durganden weapon go from my collection, but there are those that I could sway and move up the ladder. Maybe one day get moved back into Neverwinter or Water's Deep.
Oh yes, I've never been there. I need to. You see, I come from the east. I've not been to these cities yet, but I've heard of them.
The Sword Coast is magnificent. The docks of Neverwinter, a hub of trade, the old libraries of Water's Deep.
Neverwinter. It sounds like it's very summery there. Is it nice and hot? Is it a desert?
Depending on what time of year, it does get quite cold during the winter.
Oh, it's just your name's in the Sword Coast. In Neverwinter, you just make an image in your head.
Yeah, I don't know where the name came from.
Who knows?
As a person, I don't know where the name came from. I don't think I've ever asked that question.
Baldur's Gate is named after a gate. Yeah.
Kept that gold.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
okay. I think this is good.
He has somebody bring forth the gold and settles up with you. He says, "Well, I do again think that this errant into the Lurkwood Forest is just nothing but wasted time. There's definitely others that could use your talents. There are other hidden treasures that I could send you after. We could make this more of an ongoing thing. I know that there's a few other lords on the coast itself that are always looking for people to help with whatever happens to be going on.
Well, this is not the end of our relationship, I don't think. We're just going to, tie off these loose ends. I want an insight check to see if he doesn't want us to go for some reason. Do I get the sense that he's like trying to not let us go for some maybe nefarious purpose?
Okay. Roll me an insight check.
19.
26. No. Okay.
19.
You don't know why, but he'd rather have his own men go and
He wants to have his own guys go
Research.
for some reason.
yeah, but you don't really know why.
Okay.
At least that's the impression you get. But he's not going to tell the heroes of Long Saddle no.
Yeah.
Look, it
Wearing any like interesting jewelry on his hands?
There's a signet ring, which would be common for his position. A few other, gaudy pieces of jewelry, but nothing nefarious or like insignia to some secret society or anything.
To walk up to him and shake his hand and say, "Thank you for the work." And in the process, I want to try to steal one item. I don't necessarily want to go for the signet because that'll be recognized immediately. But let's say he's got some other interesting. You said there's baubles, so we'll kind of angle for that. But if he literally has nothing but the signet, I am going to try to steal the signet.
and I'm going to try to distract him.
Oh my god.
I love it. Anarchy, yes.
Okay, so roll me a D1. Oh well, first off, sleight of hand to try to lift something from his person.
This is where I'm going to roll a 1, just so you know. I have a +10 to sleight of hand, and that's kind of what's motivating this. That's a natural 20 for 30.
He didn't need my help.
Holy shit!
You just
Okay,
fucking cleaned him out.
I just take his whole hand off. He doesn't know it.
He's suddenly naked.
roll 1d4.
Enjoy your rogue.
I love it.
Kinda. 3.
Okay, roll me a D100.
Oh,
As
that's-
you pull him in close, and there's a distraction. Somebody was doing something as well.
The Donald Trump handshake.
Yeah, it does the Donald Trump, pulls you in like that. He's off balance. You reach into his heavy cloak.
96. Oh my god.
96.
Top 10. It's got to be like the best fucking thing he's got on him. Jesus.
Maybe I do get the signet ring.
It's
You just straight up
900,000
own him
gold
now.
worth of diamonds.
You pull out an ornate brooch of dwarven design.
Now we try to sell it back to the NPC.
Is it a brooch or is it a pin?
It says brooch on my list here. Roll again.
For what roll what again?
1d100.
Oh, ha 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 ha.
Roll 100. It's his firstborn child. Law of surprise.
That would be an 80.
Nice.
I'm really glad I'm doing these on D&D Beyond right now, because if I was doing these physical, I wouldn't even believe them myself.
A bronze pentacle with an etching of a rat's head in its center.
We have one of those.
We
Yes,
do
that's
have
not
something
familiar.
like that, don't we? Yeah.
Roll a 1d100 again for your third and final item.
Oh, that was the D4. Right. I
Nice.
should have known that.
Not 20, man. That's brilliant. I love it. Great use.
That's a 31. So yeah, 31. 31.
Pocket lint.
A silver sheriff's badge. Like the typical 5-point star.
And
In the
a
middle
snake
is
in
the
your
name
boots.
of a city called Grin Shander.
I mean, that's what you rolled, man. 31.
Awesome.
Nice.
So you lift this without him noticing?
Or anybody else, probably, for that matter. Maybe Tyee, with the
Dude,
radar.
Ty's
you don't even
no,
notice you
because
did it.
that's higher than Ty's passive perception. He didn't even
Oh.
see it. It is possible.
Didn't see it, but I know.
He knows.
The stars are judging you. Like, just you see over there, Tyee, and he's like, he's the meme. He's got like hands on his hips, like saying nothing. Like, what are you doing?
That's all I wanted to do.
Okay,
Thank you.
so he says, well, again, thank you for volunteering to go into the forest. I wish you the best of luck and tread carefully out there.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. No worries. Yeah, and I'll turn and I'll just kind of nonchalantly walk away.
Okay. So he, as the party breaks away from him, he heads off with his little entourage, and they begin mounting up. And as refugees continue to kind of pour out of the city, he starts heading north back to Oakhurst, leaving things here to get back to normal.
Are we in Long
Rebuild.
Saddle?
We are in Long Saddle.
It didn't seem like he wanted us to go. Was I the only one who thought that was weird? He did not want us to go into the woods. He wanted his men to go.
I don't know. Something about this man seems very trivial. He does not have his priorities in order. This is for sure.
Oh, you would think that. He protected his people. He did what
Yes.
he could. He fought them himself.
Yes, all after he had to be strong-armed into believing that there was a threat coming to begin with.
Oh, well, I imagine in his position you're always hearing about the next threat. I bet it's exhausting.
Would Vinny know anything, may have read about anything about the forest itself?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
Like if he knows, if he's ever read about like stories about the forest, about potential dangers or mysteries or anything like that.
Not really. This is definitely something new and unique.
He's excited then. I don't know. Let's go find out.
Going back just a little bit for a second. I think you give him too much of an easy pass. All of us, he acted like he was the hero for protecting the town. And clearly he did not do all that much for anyone, really.
But you didn't think I thought he was giving us a good amount of praise. Look, we got horses, the town, he even calls us the heroes of Long Shadow.
Yeah,
Pocketbooks are full.
he's boasting with...
Oh, that's... I know, yeah, that is the nature of the laws of these lands. They're the same. As far east as you go into even my homeland, this is just how they are.
Well, it did not rub me the right way, so to speak. But
and that's fair. That makes I think that many of us are just used to it, so that's maybe why we give them a pass, I suppose. It's expected behavior. But I know what you mean.
I'm still learning. But let us be done with this conversation. We can move on from here. So, Ken, sorry, what was it you were looking for?
Oh, he said there was nothing I would have known in the forest. It's something new.
Gotcha. So we're off to... Was the place Shining White, or was it just part of the...
Yeah, there was another town after where we were, right, Callie?
Yeah, you're in Griffin's Nest. You could see Shining White. And then beyond Shining White was the Lurkwood Forest.
We should take a break. We should get our horses ready, and we should go. We should go after maybe a light night's sleep.
Well, yeah. What else are we
Well,
gonna do?
If we are going to be doing it rough, so to speak, for the coming days, I would like to get as good a sleep as possible.
While you guys are talking, you look at Karl. He's been hooking something now. He now has a 5-pointed silver star that you don't know where he got, down on the outside of his cloak, just sitting there.
So you stole something from a guy, and you put it on a presentary way on yourself while we're still in his presence.
The guy went away. Like, that's why. Like, Callie did narrate. The guy like went away, and he's off and doing his own thing, and we're gonna go do our thing.
Talgar looks over and kind of and taps it on his shoulder and goes like,
What is it made out of? Silver?
I think so.
Was it the Druid or
The star, the badge.
It's a silver badge, like a sheriff's badge.
You know, Karl, that is going to reflect the light. Just keep that in mind.
It's on this flap. You see, I can fold it in.
It wasn't, but it is now.
Yeah. It wasn't gonna, but now it is. Fuck.
Good one, Todd.
You gotta roll piss poor for that to happen, so just don't roll piss poor.
Yeah.
Right now, so don't worry. That'll never happen.
No. Never goes wrong.
All right, so we're off to that town and then to the forest, or the forest direct after.
You're in Long Saddle currently.
Yeah.
As I remember it, the forest was after the town. So there's Griffin's Nest or Griffin's Rest. Then there's
Shining White.
the next, Shining White or whatever. Then there's the forest.
I found the map. I just reposted it.
So we are going to the tavern. Your meals are comped. The drinks flow. You continuously have people coming up and thanking you. And eventually you're able to retire to your rooms. What are the activities you're doing before you cycle a long rest?
So Ken and Vesmir are going to look over the Elementals book. I believe last time we looked at the plane of water. Vinny, what's your think we should potentially study next? Fire, the air, the earth?
Well, you like doing Earth stuff, so we can do the Earth next.
The earth sounds good.
Okay. So is there a roll needed for this?
No. So Ken was using what's a spell? Comprehend language. Yes.
Okay.
And bringing
And
it
then
to
I'll
Seraphic
just-
just for more lore.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're targeting
The
in the
Earth
hour
book.
that you have. You're targeting things about the Earth Elemental.
Correct. We did water last session.
Okay. Cool. What did I tell you about the water? You have an overarching story of 4 brothers and their commanding power over the elemental planes. This book seems to have different descriptions of each brother. With the time that you have allotted with the comprehended languages and the searching and so forth that you would have to do to narrow the search, which of the 4 elements, which of the 4 brothers would you like to look into?
Let's have a
Know
look
more
into the water plane.
With a little bit of the time you have allotted left, you were able to ascertain that they studied a great deal about portals and how to access these other elemental planes. They were strong in magics prior to taking on these endeavors and research. And when they were able to cross into the elemental planes, they were able to fight some of them. They were able to make some allies, further their research, and there's other pieces in there that talk about the brother and rumored where he would have been, his tomb would have lied, but nobody had found it yet. And there, there's references to different legends and songs and so forth that point to the location. Now that you have actually been there, if they make sense on the spine of the world. Enough time, you would get clues if you were looking at some of the other elemental planes on where potentially maybe the other brothers' tombs are. Okay, so the Earth Elemental. As they're navigating to that section of the book, as you scan, your eyes convert the foreign text to something that you understand. And you read a story about a brother, one of the three, that devoted his life to studying the arts of the elemental or element of earth, seeking out the earliest primordial ooze, brought him to the peninsula of Chult, and deep within those jungles is where he learned the necessary knowledge to access the earth plane, where he went forth and very much repeated the process of that the water brother did. And there's references that somewhere in the dense foliage of Chult lies a tomb where he was laid to rest by his surviving brothers and followers.
Did you get that?
Yes, I am doing my best to transcribe as you explain it to me, Vinny.
Yeah, no, but did you get that? I mean, that last bit. You think that in this wooded area we might possibly find one of the tombs?
This is definitely a possibility. I would rather explore the full book, make sure we know the whole situation before we just start to.
Yeah.
You would know that the Chult, which it references directly, is a peninsula way to the south of the Sword Coast.
Who would know this? Oh, who would know this?
I mean, just general travelers and geography.
Oh.
Like, you would know where, like,
Um,
the Caribbean is.
That's fair. That's fair.
CHOLT, or is it how to spell?
CHULT. So, questions on what we went over with the book?
No questions at the moment. I might bring something up with you in downtime just to. I don't think we need to hash it out right now.
Yeah, you're getting enough information that you could do further research on your own to try to narrow some of these things down. You're getting enough references you could cross-reference with other books and so forth if you were to go looking for information. But you're getting a general ballpark of kind of where the brothers split off and did their studies and were laid to rest.
Sounds good.
What's everybody else doing?
I thought Karl was doing something.
He did want to do something.
Sure, I can go next. So the intent, like I was mentioning, I want to take that star. Actually, second thoughts, like, yep, I did nick that. I probably should do something with it. And so my intent is to, like, some pretty serious, like, sculpting on it. So I'm expecting a roll, and I'm expecting this to be an ongoing thing because I don't expect to instantly turn it into something. But I do want to try to remake it to look like an oak leaf. I know. So I know that's not. I mean, you think of a 5-pointed star. If you shave off a couple of the sides, and you could probably then like flare out the leaves.
So what tools do you have to do this with?
I do. What tools do I have?
I mean, are you gonna just use your dinner fork and like bang?
No. So no. Yeah. I do have I have a set of daggers that I've had this entire time. And then beyond that, I have
Got like arrows and shit too, man.
I mean, yeah, those aren't really tools. I'm looking for like actual tools.
Oh,
as far
we're
as,
being
like,
serious about this. Your daggers aren't real tools either, jerk.
I guess, like, like, what do you do with an arrow and a little plate of silver? But I guess,
you could use like the hilt of the dagger to try to like hammer on it for a while.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't. So with the daggers, I don't
Like
care about the
Junior's
blades.
first whittling kit, though. Like that's the type of quality that we're talking.
Oh, I know. Like it's very poor quality tools, but I guess that's the other key is I don't really care about the blades quality on these daggers. These daggers I bought. I mean, they're kind of nice, but I mean, I don't really use them for fighting, and they've been just sort of in my pack for a while.
Okay. Well, then roll me a dexterity of some type.
I could do just if you want sleight of hand, we could do that, or I could do just straight dex. But sleight of hand does kind of make some sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a kid playing a rogue on our D&D game at school on Thursday, and he brought out daggers, and I was like, no.
Oh, how
We're
did
gonna
that go,
fix
by
that.
the way? Sorry to
No,
let's get this roll, let's get this roll done first.
I'll be around to talk about it tonight for sure. I'll be around, yeah.
I rolled a 2 for a 12.
Okay. Well, it no longer resembles a 5-pointed star, but you've got a pretty muddled mess of a silver thing in your hand.
I'll look at it and be like, well, we all start somewhere. And I'll pin that on my cloak. So that is, it's kind of on the edge where it can be flapped in or out.
It does not look like the original item at this point.
That's good enough for me.
Okay, who's next? Talgar, you doing something?
Talgar's just kind of hanging out, drinking and eating right now, just kind of watching people.
Okay.
Vinny's gonna put his hand on his chest and goes, Moonweaver, guide me. I don't know why I'm doing this. And he cast Sending. He's going to send a message.
Ooh, who are we sending to?
He is going to send a message to the Baron.
Okay.
So he says, Oi, you have me axe. Woo! Me axe has me curse on it. Woo! Me spirit will curse and haunt the owner until death. Woo! And that's it.
That's amazing.
So you get a worried voice back, somebody kind of speaking out into the void. How do I release the curse? How do I put you at rest?
And I go to bed.
Damn.
Fucking cold.
Damn, son. I would just be quietly in my room, window open, puffing on my pipe, just thinking about what's next.
These are no smoking rooms. Sorry, dude, you can't do that.
I will, in a panic, I'll cast Druidcraft and I'll make a flower bloom. A single flower, by the way, just one.
Yeah,
Yes.
And then he breaks out into song.
Yeah. Just a flower blossom. It's shit you not. It's right there in the wording. A flower. The worst cantrip ever. Oh my god. No, but I roll my dice for tomorrow, and it's wheel now, or woe. So I'll be able to take my dice and make it against like enemies' attacks and stuff. I won't be able to use it to my advantage. I'll be able to use it just to fuck over people making rolls.
So you may go ahead and cycle a long rest. So reset your spells, get yourself prepared for the day. And you'll meet downstairs where breakfast is being served. You can go over your plans for the day.
Remember, don't check reset hit points. I only said that because I almost forgot.
Well, so we head out. We will first see. Sorry, go up again. We'll
You
go
be the only
through
one talking about, dude.
day's plans. We're going to Shining White.
Yes, I think that's the plan. We have these horses now, which will be very helpful. And it's close. You know. And again, we'll be on horseback, so it'll be comfortable the whole way. Unless something happens, which, it probably will.
Who am I riding with?
You have a horse, Vinny.
I'm not getting my own horse. I'm not
Vinny,
managing that.
you have a horse for free.
I don't want a horse.
Vinny,
I don't have,
You
I
have another
can't-
horse.
I don't have a way to feed it. Or
You
shovel
have,
it
you
when
have
it poops.
thousands of gold in your pockets.
I'm not gonna give it gold. I don't want a horse. Let me ride with
That's-
someone.
I believe.
All right, Vinny, you can ride with me.
My
I
hero.
believe that was the original arrangement. Talgar and Vinny.
Are you afraid of the horse?
I'm not. I'm afraid of the responsibility of taking care of the horse. I don't want to do that.
It just takes care of itself. It's an animal. It just does its thing. It knows what to do. It'll eat
I
the
still-
grass, for God's sake.
I still haven't hatched this lizard yet. It's still in its egg. One thing at a time, man.
And these to it, you kick them in the ribs, and just that's what they know.
You
It
could
makes them
consider
feel
this-
good.
This is just practice then, I think. I think it's good to build your responsibilities if you're going to be a father of an animal.
I'm taking care of you guys.
Just take it from me. I'm a druid. I know.
So yeah. So we're good.
Okay.
I still want that horse.
The
I want
extra
that.
horse?
Yes. 100% extra horse with us all the time.
So we have 5 horses, and Vinny and Talgar just ride on one horse, and it gets trailed by you, I guess.
It's just on a rope, hanging out.
I like this idea.
You never know when we'll need a spare horse.
Fucking A. Never know when you need a spare horse.
Horse can be good eats.
This is like our spare tire. It's like our party spare tire. If we get a flat, we'll just get on just get that spare tire.
Put the other one down.
We'll shoot our car and then get on the other car. Sad. Sad horse story.
All right, so you're heading out to Shining White?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so it'll take at least a day and a half to get to Griffin's Nest, and Shining White's only a couple hours beyond that.
Where did you
So
even
you're
get those
setting out,
coconuts?
setting out at morning. Who is leading the way?
Yo,
Well, Karl, give me a survival check. As you lead the party through the day's travel.
Oh, it's very good tea.
that's a 20
A
for
nat
a
20.
29. Yep.
Okay. So you're able to make exceptionally good time. Shaving a considerable amount.
You alright?
Tried to breathe coffee.
Coffee.
It doesn't work like that.
Now I have a
Okay,
sneeze
got it.
that's stuck.
Oh.
Just so you know, this is not tea.
No. I had a bunch of my whiskey yesterday.
This is a Distiller's Edition Lagavulin, which if you ever see that, get it. It is
That's,
well worth it.
That's the Ron Swanson
It
pilgrimage.
tastes like licking the inside of a burnt oak.
This one doesn't, because it's been double aged, and so like the 10-year or 8-year will, but like this stuff is so man, like this hardly burns, and it has a very light
I'm not
smoke.
talking
Like
about
smell.
I'm not talking about the burn, but Lagavulin, like it's just heavy on that peat.
They age a little bit; it mellows out a good bit. But I'm with you. The younger stuff can be tongue clobbering.
Which is great if you're having a cigar.
Oh, it has its time and place,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
but not right now.
and that-
Anyway, sorry. Oh, yeah.
You're good, man.
With a natural 20, you speed up the travel, and you're able to cover a great distance. It is going to be nightfall soon, and you probably have another 6 hours worth of travel to go before you would make Shining White. Do you wish to travel or break for camp?
I imagine that's like all of us to call. So I guess I'll look back at everybody and say, about as far as I think we'll make it today. I think we should find a good camping site, put down for the night. Actually, while I'm saying that, I kind of want to. I'd like to kind of, being that I've been riding around, right? Like, curious if I've seen a lot of track activity around us as we've been going. Like, are we going on a road, or is this more kind of a path, a trail?
You're almost following the same path that you came to Longstone from.
I guess I'm interested in trying to assess how dangerous the area is from local wildlife.
Well, considering you were attacked by giant apes last time.
Oh yes, I was here for that. I heard it. Incidentally,
right.
by the way,
you weren't here for that.
Well, no, I had you guys on like these AirPods while we were watching Ted Lasso. I had one ear and I was listening to everybody. Whoever, I think Ken maybe suggested, whoever suggested that was genius, because that was kind of great being able to listen.
Yeah, so there's giant apes and other wildlife. You know that trolls have ventured south as well, but with your natural 20, you were able to avoid any of those encounters and speed up the journey and arrive at a campsite.
Well, here we are. Let's set up camp.
Round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, get around.
Is anybody keeping watch?
Well, Vinny puts up his dome.
Okay. Then he puts up his dome.
And being emo elf ranger, right? Like I only need 4 hours, and so I would intend to take the earliest 4 hours to meditate as I do, and then I honestly would probably be awake and just kind of keeping idle watch, even though I know we're more or less secure-ish inside the dome. But I would indeed keep watch for the latter half of the night.
How many hours do we have for downtime?
6 to 8.
8.
Okay. I keep forgetting that I have spells that I'm planning to transcribe into my spell.
All you gotta do is remember, buddy.
Yeah. Is that something I can do now?
Yeah. I mean, like you're going to. Well, I mean, what do you? It takes time to do those things.
Yes, I've got the hours. Like there's a level 4 and below. They take maximum 8 hours. And you gave me the ability with my calligraphy supplies to take D4 number of hours off of that.
Yes.
In order to transcribe them. So I would have the time, quote unquote.
Yes, but you're concentrating and working on that, so you would not get the benefits of the rest if you were to spend, let's say, 8 hours doing that.
That's what I meant. Like I thought, there's travel time, downtime, and sleep time. Is that?
Yes.
So is there time in the downtime to transcribe?
I don't know. You'll have to roll. I mean, it's not 8 hours of downtime.
That's what I was asking. Like, what's the length of downtime?
I would say you're probably stopping travel at what 7-ish.
Yeah.
Probably 4 hours of downtime. 11 o'clock, you would have to be asleep if you're going to get 8 hours and be up when the sun comes up.
4 hours of downtime is good enough.
Seems reasonable.
As we apply real world physics and time to our fantasy.
Yeah.
I gotta
I go to
poop.
bed now.
Sure. So I guess roll a it depends on what you're trying to craft.
I'm just I'll just do it in the background. I'm gonna just look at if I've got the resources equipment wise for spell component, like spell making component, which like I do. But yeah, I'll take care of that in the background. Just need to know whether I had the time on.
You do, and I just want to know what you actually make.
Okay.
You don't have to announce it publicly, but if you want to DM it to me.
Sure. No worries. Yeah, I'm just.
One of these days, you're gonna trust us.
I'm transcribing web into my book.
Always trust but verify.
Make sure you use your selective meta magic so it doesn't web us too.
I don't have meta magic.
I know, I'm just fucking talking shit.
Such a shit.
Just talking bullshit.
She's the only character that we know that can do that is Avarice.
She can selective spell stuff? Nice.
Yes, she can.
Well, she can do the fireball, but that's not the same thing. It's similar. It's functionally the same, but it's not the same thing, right?
Now I want to
I
make
can't
a
remember
character.
if it is only the fire. What's that?
Now I want to make a character, Aberris Costello.
That'd be good.
Incidentally, I'm pretty sure in the Tuesday group, the Avarice will eventually TPKS. I'm pretty sure.
No. I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think so.
I mean,
I think Zanzi's building it up a lot. I don't think so.
we could piss her off to make her to do that, but
No, we're never gonna fight her.
I think
We're gonna fight her. No.
I don't have any desire to fight her.
You're not gonna.
I don't have a desire to fight her. I'm just saying.
We're not gonna split the party to fight her. And
Well,
two of us aren't gonna fight her. You know what I mean?
We can't fight her, basically. Well,
we can
we
after
can.
this job, but why would we? I've signed
Yeah, why
up for
would
this
we?
now at this point. You know?
It would not make sense. So
Okay.
yeah.
So
Anyway,
Yeah. Back on track.
you awake in the morning, and as you break camp and begin to head north, Tyee, your passive perception, as well as anybody who is looking, would see some tracks that look to, if passed very close to where the hut was overnight.
How many tracks and what kind?
The single files, hard to tell. They hide their numbers.
Tuscan. Has to be.
Roll me a nature check to try to determine.
Okay. Which
type
is
of track.
ironic because my nature check is terrible.
Well, Vinny
I
will
know
help.
nature should. Oh,
But I
there
rolled a
you go.
19, so there you go. Yeah. It's intelligence. It's not wisdom. Right. Anyway. Yeah.
Looking at the mud and the impressions, you get 3 trolls passed by here in the
Oh.
nighttime.
What size?
Pretty hefty ones.
Gentlemen, there are trolls. We're in troll country, it seems. You see those tracks there? There seems to be 3 of them. They seem to be walking in an orderly fashion, which is interesting for trolls.
Wait, how
They
do you
seem to be
know?
trying to hide their numbers?
How do you know it's 3?
You could just see 3 individual tracks.
But they're in one spot.
Unless these trolls have like 4 legs.
I
Or
mean, it
6?
is possible they already have 3.
Are they?
That's weird, but okay.
Well, which direction are they going? Are they going in the same direction we're going, or in the same general direction?
Yeah. What did I notice?
They look to be headed towards the Lurkwood Forest, towards Shining White.
Oh yes, they are going in our direction. We might have friends soon.
Do we want to track them down for a little sport as he pulls his bow off his back?
Well, how do we know they're not intelligent trolls? Maybe they just, want to do their own thing.
I'll fight to defend myself, but I like to stay on track too, and that would be tracking these things down. Might be just tempting fate.
Crestfallen, Karl sighs, puts his bow back on his back. Fine.
Talgar, what do you feel about this? Do you think that they might pose a threat if we do not make sure that they are taken care of?
I think better safe than sorry.
Yeah, which way does that mean though? Safe as in we ignore them, or safe as in we get them?
We take them out.
Okay,
the
let's go get
vengeance
the trolls. Let's go get them. But no, it's fine. Let's go get them. They are a nuisance. They are probably going to do bad shit eventually. Yes, let's go.
Okay. So, give me a survival check as you try to follow the tracks.
25.
Oh, him. Yeah. Nice.
I have very good survival wisdom. Very good wisdom shit. Yeah.
Rolls look to be taking no precautions to hide their tracks at all, and they're easy to follow. trivial, and they bypass Shining White and head towards the forest. As you get to the other side of Shining White, go ahead.
So, I think we would probably stop at Shining White, knowing that they go past, because at this point we're at a place we wanted to go.
Okay, well, at this divergence here, as you're next to Shining White and the tracks continue into the forest, you notice that it crosses some farmland, and right past the farmland is a vast swath of deforested area. It looks like the town of Shining White had begun deforesting some of the area to expand farmland into the Lurkwood.
Okay.
A lot of that equipment looks to have been destroyed. You see the zombie horde, tracks that came through that area, as well as straight into the town. The town looks very much like in the same condition as Griffin's Nest is. Everything is destroyed. There are no bodies other than those that were too mangled to be raised again and added to the horde. There's little of value. Most of the buildings at this point have either completely burnt down or the fires have gone out. It's a ransacked mess.
Does it appear that anybody living has been here recently? Last couple days.
Give me a survival check as you poke around the city.
And I want to look to see if there's any more of those mindless dead standing around.
All right, Ken, you can give me a perception check as you go off exploring.
21 survival.
Nothing new, other
Okay.
than you catch a few troll tracks here and there, like they ventured into the city. But
Okay.
nothing else of recent.
Nothing noteworthy necessarily. This place seems rather empty. It doesn't really seem like many people have been here. But this is, and I'm going to motion to the deforested area. Like, this is troubling. Now, I'm a Circle of the Stars druid, but I wonder if this kickstarted any of the nonsense. This makes me wonder.
Do we see the horde tracks going towards the Morkwood from here?
The tracks come out of the Lurkwood into
Right,
the city.
But we can see
And then
where
down
they're coming
across
out
the
of.
river, and yeah, you can see where they came out of.
Yeah, so we know which way to possibly go.
Yeah, the troll tracks were headed in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
At least they ain't undead trolls.
But
Do we know?
That's
We
a
don't.
good point.
We don't know that. If they were undead, I would assume that they would be with the Horde, because that would be a potent pain in the ass.
Yeah, I just don't want them to go in there, become undead, and then say hello.
Yes. I mean, that doesn't seem, as much as I'd like there to be something here, there doesn't seem to be something here. It's just a tragedy.
What time is it?
By this time, you're probably mid afternoon, 2 or 3.
Talgar, can you not tell if there's undead around?
Ooh.
Yeah, detect good and evil.
I think that's a short range,
Hold on,
though.
reading.
Stand by.
I'm just making a cup of tea. I'll yell across the room if I need to.
Very good.
So Seraphic, or
Yeah, what, buddy?
Oh,
Roll initiative. No.
he counterspelled you.
he did.
Oh yes, I can cast divine sense. I can detect good and evil. Any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover.
So, limited use.
But-
well, I'm not necessarily sensing anything.
What's in the
She's very
town?
quiet.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm done.
No, I just asked the consistency of the town. Is it just like farms and a few houses? Are there any like what used to be shops, supply warehouses?
No, that's definitely like a small like frontier community. A little bit of agriculture. But skins, pelts, trading, things like that.
Ooh. How many of these can we stuff in the bag of holding?
Are you looting the town for?
I was looking for the town for anything of interest to loot, not necessarily anything
Well,
mundane, just anything that might catch the eye.
You also know that Kalbren got you, on the road and quickly and moving fast. But at this point, with the refugees head start that they had and stuff, they'll be arriving here probably not too long. By nightfall or maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, so find what I can while it's had the chance.
Okay. So roll me an investigation check as you go pillaging.
Oh no. Dice be nice. Oh, it went from an 18 to a 5. Thank you.
So you find a handful of pelts, a like silver goblet, but not much more than that.
Okay, I'll just bag him up and go back to the party.
Kind of try to see if there's something I could roll to determine if I know that this is typical behavior for trolls to walk in an orderly fashion or not.
Well, like, what do you mean, like an orderly fashion?
Or I guess the tracks we saw, like, would that seem unusual to me, or
They
is that
walked in single file.
yeah?
No, I was making a Star Wars reference. On
Oh, I
that.
thought we actually
okay.
They were just regular tracks.
Okay, the regular tracks. That's fine.
we took it
I
literally.
got it, Kelly, for
Well, no, I got the reference, but I thought it was like both. I thought that it was
Yeah.
like something funny going on, and then you slapped a reference on top.
No, and
But-
I apologize. I understand how
I'm
that's
like,
confusing.
these are strange trolls.
No, they're just regular troll tracks.
Okay.
No worries. I'll look around. Well, we best be getting on. The day's burning.
Agreed.
Daylight's burning.
I like burning. Ugh,
Don't get
So-
comfy or anything.
I'm not.
You head off
as fuck.
out of Shining White into the Liquid Forest. You pick up on the cold troll tracks where they kind of converge with where the horde came out. You cross some farmland and the great number of trees that have been felled. It seems kind of eerie. Just the work stopped. You still see a few workmen axes sunk in the logs. The horde came on them with lightning speed, and
Is there a mill or something nearby? Is there logs piled somewhere? I mean, what was this wood for?
That looks like they were in the process of constructing a sawmill,
Ah,
and there's quite a few logs and saws and so forth strewn about.
okay. Okay. So, Karl, you gonna lead us into the liquid?
Let's go. Looking for the troll tracks and keep it on.
And Vinny just sings about it.
I mentioned to maybe lower the tone a little bit.
But we've got some trolls. We got undead. deep in the heart of Mirkwood.
Oh my god.
All right, so you head into the forest, and it isn't long. Go ahead and give me a survival check, Karl.
But that's going to be an 18 or 20. 20. No, dirty 20.
Okay, so as you head deeper into the forest, as the sun begins to set, you come across what looks to be a dead troll. There are several arrows in its back.
I'm going to pull out an arrow, and I want to see if I can discern anything about the quality. Does it look like it was cobbled together, or are these likely?
You pull
kind
it
of
out, and you see that it's a steel-tipped arrow. More than
well
likely.
made.
Yeah, well made,
Yeah.
not primitive troll tech.
Well, not even troll. I'm more thinking like, was it goblins or potentially
Yeah,
human?
no, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely looks a higher quality arrow,
Yep.
like a huntsman or woodsman would use.
Yep. Pull it out, like look at everybody and say, there's somebody else around in these woods.
The troll does look like the body's been here for a while. It is in a state of decomposition. Probably maybe a week or so.
Oh, so probably not the trolls who were after. Or I guess
No.
I would say it to everybody else.
Well, there's a chance that whoever took down this troll is not an enemy, but good to be cautious, nonetheless.
I'd like to. I mean, I know it has been some time, so I'm willing. I expect this to be a high DC. I want to look around on the ground to see if I can see any sort of tracks that would tell me anything about the other entity, creature, person, whatever.
Okay. Give me a survival.
Yeah, that's not that great. That would be a 16.
You're able to ascertain that there was definitely a scuffle here. You see some footprints in the area, the half filled with mud and water and so forth at this point, but you get the idea that there's definitely some type of scuffle, a skirmish here, a firefight.
There was a firefight.
I'll look back at the group. Well, gentlemen, we've got a choice. We can try to find the trolls. We might be able to track our arrow-wielding mystery creature.
Yeah, but
Well, we could get sidetracked a little bit. Where's the horde tracks go?
The horde tracks continue to go deeper and deeper into the forest.
You know, I'm curious about this hunter, this person who's killing trolls. Does it seem there's just one of them?
Would I be able to discern that from the tracks, or not high enough?
With the time that's passed and so forth, you definitely can see that there was more than one troll here, and what appear to be booted footprints of more than one person.
maybe it was that town back there, the Shining White. Maybe they had a group that was hunting these trolls before the
Yes,
horde
maybe.
came.
Ah, yes, fair. Yeah, absolutely. As well, you know, I think when we started tracking these trolls, we thought that maybe they would be a nuisance on our journey to this location, but now we're here where we needed to be, and we do have business to take care of.
And given what we're seeing here, it probably didn't end well for our hunter friend, or he would have collected these arrows. These are nice.
Ah, I wouldn't know anything about that, but there's good insight.
Either way, I'm fine to continue on to our destination.
Yes, I say no more dithering about.
As you continue forward into the forest, it'll be dark soon. Everyone give me a perception check.
That is a 25.
27.
Oh!
11.
Dirty 20.
That wisdom score, man. We're both wisdom casters. You know, it's nuts. Yeah.
So as you follow this kind of game path through the forest here next to a small stream, you hear the crashing of brush and the guttural tones of what you assume to be trolls up ahead.
Being that I'm in the lead, I'll stop the horse and just motion everybody and turn around, finger pursed over my lips, and just get down, sign, and kind of like motion everybody together so we can whisper to one another.
Are there trees around?
Yeah, you're in a dense forest. There's towering trees around you, dense foliage on the ground. I'm setting up a board now, so hang tight.
No, that's fine. Vesmir slowly dismounts and takes his horse back a few trees and just ties him up.
I'll follow suit as well.
Talgar will do the same.
Okay, I've got us. So we are on E, Deep Forest. Not Deep Forest Path, just Deep Forest.
And
I would suggest double-clicking on the ground next to your character.
there was an album called Deep Forest, and I got that track in my head.
You may have to adjust the green slider a bit for the trees.
Oh God.
How pretty.
It actually looks really cool if you pan down to head level of your.
Yeah, like getting down in the forest.
Like we're on Endor.
The forest moon of Endor.
Yes.
Yes. Si, senor.
See.
Oh, you hear the noise up ahead. You dismount from your horses. What are you gonna do?
So first I'll like trolls. They're up ahead. Be quiet. And then I'm going to try to. I want to try to sneak around through the brush around the edge. Or actually, first before that, I'll look at everybody. I'll let everybody know like what my thought here is. Like, I'll go get set up. If you guys start the action, I'll start firing. And then, yeah, that's the intent. My intent is then to go go around the edge stealthily as possible. But not necessarily on my own, sort of kind of watching the rest of the group and making sure that I'm not putting myself too far away.
Vesmir's going to keep an eye out, and he's going to stay behind, not up the tree, behind the tree.
Yeah. So where does he hear them off to? Do the northeast?
Down the game path that you are currently following.
Okay. So I'll follow just a little bit behind Kalbren and Vesmir.
Okay. It isn't long before you see.
I guess Talgar would be.
Talgar
in
probably need to be up
front.
front almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Or just walking down the game path. You can be like the bait, you know?
There you go. I can do that.
Okay, so down the game path, you see 3 trolls. You should be able to see them on your map here. They seem to be unaware of your presence as they are headed deeper into the forest. Talgar, you're going to want to back up, buddy. So, what's the play? Are we trying to sneak up on them?
That's my intent. Is just good.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was what we were doing. I think everybody but Talgar is trying to sneak up on him.
Talgar seems to be just walking down the path. Is that was he's the bait, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need a group stealth check from everybody but Talgar.
That's a 17, and this phase was because D&D Beyond got smart. I just clicked stealth. My character class has an extra D4 that goes on to stealth, and it rolled it with it.
Oh,
Like, I didn't have to.
awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the face of like, what?
I
So
need
yeah,
to watch some
anyway.
of the recent dev blogs because like there's been a lot of feature improvements like in a rapid pace on D&D Beyond of late. Like the
Yeah.
Battlefield initiatives pre-populates and just there's been a few little quality of life improvements. I want them to fix
Sorry
it.
if you didn't hear that. 17 for me.
17. All right, what else do we get?
11.
11. Okay, so we have 1 pass, 1 fail.
15.
Vinny?
Oh, sorry.
What did you get, Vinny?
25.
Okay, so we have the party is moving stealthy. Even when Tyee steps on a twig, it just sounds like a small little critter in the underbrush. As the party continues to kind of take up position, Talgar, I need you to give me a stealth check. Even though I know you're not being stealthy.
0.
Could be
Okay.
worse.
I'm just like clunking down the path, yelling, screaming.
Yeah, so you're
Apparently.
like zippity doo dah, zippity.
Being real good bait.
And the trolls, you hear them converse with each other, and they pick up their clubs and turn, and begin to investigate the source of this intrusion. You see them begin to move towards you, Talgar. They look around and see that you're alone and like laugh, and begin to move forward menacingly. What are you doing?
Good, Talgar. Yep.
I think Talgar's just going to take up a defensive posture, not really move forward, and just let his the rest of his team kind of catch up.
All right, and the rest of the party, what are you doing?
Just moving up a little bit to make sure I'm not too far away. Range-wise.
Just keeping a healthy distance, hanging out in these bushes.
Okay, so in that case, everybody pause your characters, and let's roll initiatives.
Oh, bad.
Wow, I thought my trolls rolled shit, and then you guys rolled. I feel great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, fuck.
All right, I got everybody's rolls then. All right, well, throw some battle music on, and actually, hold on. Let's take a quick 5-minute break before we get into this combat.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, be right back.
All right, in that case, initiatives have been rolled, and Karl, you're leading us off, followed by Vesmir, and then Vinny. So you see these trolls begin to approach Talgar. They're speaking something to each other in Giant, if anybody speaks Giant.
Nope.
One of them, or two of them, have clubs, and one of them is picking up a net from his waist as they approach Talgar.
Just quick question. They're considered large creatures, I assume, right?
They are large creatures, yes.
Okay, sorry. I was just wondering if you wanted to make the tokens larger. Emphasize that.
Sorry.
That'd be appreciated. Because I was like, oh, they're on the map. Wait, where are they? There we go. Now it's threatening. Now I'm fucking scared.
That's way worse.
Yeah, now Talgar's shooting himself.
My apologies.
You're good, buddy. You're good.
So Karl just spins around in the forest, just runs away, and be like, "Good luck." No.
I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace and just leave. Just walk away from this disaster I've created.
Okay. I would presume I'm stealthed. I'm not. Obviously, it's not darkness, so I don't get the darkness shenanigans.
It is with the dense foliage and the sun setting. There are large patches of shadow and so forth scattered all about, plus the tree trunks and foliage. You are in cover and stealthy.
Excellent. So, we got 3 shots. We're going to do them one at a time. Just engage the hurtness of the critter, because I don't want to waste damage. So, bonus action first. We'll focus on our buddy with the net, and that's the guy I'm going to be shooting. So first off, we're throwing Hunter's Mark on the dude with the net.
Is that A, B, or C?
Okay, that'll be A has the net.
Okay, A has the net. So damage incoming, or shot incoming. Come on, roll. That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Damage is going to be... Damage total will be...
Wow, in the game log now, it shows me what you rolled and with your skill added.
Nice.
So there's a couple pieces of damage. So if you want... I'll give you the total, or if you're going to look at the game log, you'll see things coming in here. So there's that...
Why is it rolling your damage? I'm getting...
It's twice.
Well, no, hold
So
on. Your longbow is your longbow shooting twice? What's going on here?
Well, you said I was in darkness, which would be an advantage, or at least stealth. I presume that meant it would be an advantage shot.
Oh, so it's showing both dice now?
Oh, okay. That's interesting. But then why is it doing 2 damage rolls? Oh,
So
it's rolling a 1d8 plus 4 and a 1d6.
I did the additional 2d6 by hand. So one would be the sneak attack. The other is Hunter's Mark.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just give me the total then.
Yeah. That's what I was letting you know. I was like, if you want to look at the log, you totally can.
No, the way it scrolled across the top of the screen in my encounter window looked like it was giving me your base roll plus the skill. But no, it was just the double rolls.
Bam,
showing up on a single line. So how much damage total to Troll A? Somebody throw on some battle music.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sorry, I'm looking at the rolls now. Why is that extra 1d... Oh, I think it rolled that extra 1d6 for my sneak attack. Oh, that's weird, man. Okay. We'll go with that one for the first 1d6. The other one, I rolled a 1 and a 4. We're going to go with the 1 because that was the first one. So that's going to be 7, 5, 12 total damage on the first shot.
12 damage on the first shot. Okay. Thud.
Next one, I get 3 on the first round because Dread Ambusher. But we no longer get sneak attacks, so we're going to see what's going to how D&D Beyond's going to do this. This will be weird if it keeps adding 1d6.
Yeah, I'm interested to see this.
Okay, that was going to be another 22 to hit, so that's going to hit.
Yeah, I wonder what the other one is, because it says 22 and 19.
I think those are both...
Is it rolling with advantage still, Karl?
I did. Should I not? And I won't if you say yes. I wasn't sure. You said there was like dark, so the intent was to be in the dark.
You're in the shadows. But so you rolled with advantage.
I did.
Okay. And then the longbow did 1d8 plus 4.
Perfect.
And automatically roll the sneak attack damage of 1d6.
Well, we can actually. It's the same dice for Hunter's Mark. So we'll just,
so then we'll just use Hunter's Mark then.
There you go. So it's a 16 on the second shot.
16 on the second shot.
This is kind of cool, but kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't like the way it's showing up. I wish it was more descriptive.
Uh-huh.
Like it should say sneak attack on there.
I mean, and I'm assuming that's what it is. It could be the Hunter's Mark, but
it might be. I don't know.
But how does it know?
It wouldn't know that because you don't have access to that.
No, and I didn't click Hunter's Mark. I actually just clicked the little first spell box because that was, at any rate. All right, well, move.
Step in the right direction.
Yes. Okay, then the third shot. Bam. That's gonna hit.
Evan, you have a while before you go, so why don't you put on some music?
I think your next character, Kalbren's going to be a fighter, so you just walk up and hit stuff, and then your turn's over.
Whack, whack, whack.
You deserve some blame for this character, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like I would play it better.
You maybe. Okay. The final shot is just making sure it rolled the right dice. Okay, 7, 14, 16. A total of 16 for the third shot, then that would conclude the turn.
The creature is bloodied at this point as 3 arrows come streaking out of the dense forest. And if that is the end of your turn, Vesmir, you're up. Vinny, you're on deck.
Vesmir lobbed a Frost Nova right into the middle of him. Dexterity saving throw, DC 16.
A rolls a 18, B rolls a 18, and C rolls a natural 20.
Rude. Okay, they all take half of 23, so
11.
yeah. And that concludes my turn.
Frost Nova detonates among them, sending shards of ice and cold damage at them. They roar angrily, realize that they're fallen into an ambush. Vinny, you are up.
He's going to. Okay, my mic says he's going to move his movement to get closer, dangerously closer, and he's going to pull out a feather and wave it at Troll B, and he's like, "Hey, I bet you like listening to rock and troll," and he casts hideous laughter.
Oh God. Troll B.
Troll B, wisdom saving throw.
Rolls a natural 20.
Bonus action, hide. And that ends my turn.
Okay. It is Troll A's turn. Let me just check something here.
Sorry, on my turn, if it's not too late, I just wanted to move all of them back 5 feet.
You were gonna move them all back 5 feet?
Yes.
Does that happen with the Frost Nova?
It happened anytime I hit a creature with a spell attack, or anytime I connect with a creature, I can do that.
Okay. Alright, so they get moved back. I'm not gonna move them. Just deduct it from their movement here. So they use their movement there. You guys are all in the Forest of Endor there. This one's going to use its dash. And move up to there. And this one will follow.
This is a scary sight.
The one in the back will use its action to go into a defensive posture. And that concludes the troll's turn. Tyee, you're up. Talgar on deck.
Yeah, Tyee will reach down into the bushes and whisper some words, or say them out loud, whatever is necessary. It amounts to just, come on, old friends, come on back to me. And I'll cast Spike Growth. And I will do it in a way that borders Talgar and Vinny. I just need to measure it out here in a second. And that makes me happy. So they are encompassed in the spikes. So every 5 feet they take 2d4.
Don't move anything.
I won't move anything.
It's a nice spear.
Okay. Just using that as a marker as it's central, so it's 4 tiles from the slime.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah. And mine's staying. Oh, there it goes. It goes away now. Okay.
I wish it was fucking. You could like tell it stay.
I wish it would stay.
We really need some different. We just really need some predetermined templates.
Yeah.
So you could do your fireball template and whatnot.
Or even just outside of measuring tools, have an actual like AOE tool to mark something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you throw your spiked growth down.
Yeah. And
is that concentration?
It is concentration. It is concentration. So I would tell everybody, hey, I would say like, try to make them move through the spikes. And I would kind of just scurry behind this tree, and I would call that good.
Okay.
And that would end my turn.
Talgar, you are up, sir. As the one in front of you looks bloodied with arrows sticking out of him, spikes all around the ground, but he has a net in his hands and he looks very intent on using it.
Alright, in that case, bonus action, I'm going to cast a Shielding of Faith on myself. Then I'm going to back away some. I'm not in melee range, right?
You are not.
Oh, and the terrain is difficult also.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to move back to here, and my action is going to be dodge, and I'm just going to take up a defensive stance and see if I can lure them towards me through the spikes.
Do you want me to put it back up and keep it there?
Yeah, if you don't... Well, no, not yet. Not yet.
I shouldn't be... yeah, okay.
When their turn comes again, we will.
Okay.
Okay, Tugger, so you're going to move back to there and then do what?
I'm dodging.
You're
Taking
dodging.
the defensive stance, trying to like get them to come to me.
Alright. That's the end of round 1. Ding ding, round 2. Karl, you're up. Vesmir on deck. Vinny hiding behind a tree shortly after.
Alrighty. Worked so well before, we'll do it again. Oh, I mean, we probably saw our net wielding buddy get defensive, but you know what? We're gonna keep on keeping on. We're gonna keep shooting at him, but this time we are not shooting with advantage.
The net guy did not get defensive. He used dash. The one behind him used dash. C is the one that took a defensive posture.
Sorry, I misheard that. I totally thought I was the net dude. All right then. Well, we're shooting at our net A. We're shooting at A.
Okay.
Shoots the shoots. That's gonna hit. 28 hit. Damage plus another 1d6. Oof. Oh, did I roll that too quickly? I probably did. D&D Beyond doesn't like it when you roll multiple dice. It did not roll. Come on, man. So first shot is a total of 12.
Okay.
Second shot. That's gonna hit. That's a 26 to hit. For 10 damage total on the second shot.
Yep.
And that will conclude my turn.
He's looking pretty bloodied. Vesmir, you're up. Vinny on deck.
Okay, I magnified gravity, which is the 10-foot scale. Both those trolls need to do a constitution save. DC 16.
Natural 20 on the first one. 18 on the second one.
They both succeed. They both take 6 damage. And that's it. They don't have to move on that one.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Vinny, you are up.
Well, Vinny takes his finger and his thumb in a shape of an L on his forehead, and he casts Bane on the 3 trolls. They all have to make charisma saving throws.
Ugh.
Losers!
Favorites. First one, A, rolls a 4. Second one, B, rolls a 14.
Next one's gonna take a negative d6 from my woe.
Okay, the next one was a 13 minus your d6.
And that'll be minus 6. Christ.
Yeah, okay. So, B, what was the DC?
14, so the second one saves.
Yeah, second one, B saves, A and C fail.
Correct.
Missed it by 1. Rip.
So they just take a d4 to all attack rolls and all saving throws.
Okay.
And that ended my turn.
So at the beginning of the turn, you see Troll A. It's very wounded, but you see some of the wounds begin to actually close. A little bit of life flows into it. You see this effect across all 3 trolls. Troll A is going to move within 5 feet of Talgar. So he's moving out of this tie from here. So that's how many squares? 1.
He'll move through 1. He's standing in 1. He'll move through 1. Yeah.
Okay, so that's how much damage?
That'll be 2d4.
Alright, we'll roll that damage.
Four damage. Right down the middle.
Alright, well it is not looking good at all, but it is going to try to throw the net at Talgar.
Does the dodging matter or no?
Yeah. It's attacks. So he rolls a 4, unfortunately. So the net, you just bat it to the side, The troll, enraged by this, uses the last of its movement to close the last 5 feet and will swipe at you twice with its claws. At disadvantage. Clear out. Disadvantage. Oh, I rolled a 5 and a 6. Where did all my natural 20s go?
You wasted them earlier.
Second one, 20.
Miss.
Roar! It roars with rage. B does not like being in this spiky growth. It's going to use his dash to try to get out of it and towards the danger, or the bad guys, as best as he can. So if I'm moving from here, Tyee, to like right here, or out that direction.
I didn't see where your dice is.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going through 4. Or is it B?
Yeah, it's B that's trying to...
Oh my god. So B is moving all the way across the circle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's say he goes in a diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if he goes the shortest route.
Okay, so 5 and roll the damage on it.
Yes. 10d4. Jesus Christ. He takes 27 damage.
Okay. His feet are all fucked up. 27 damage.
I thought this was B. I measured it for B. You did C?
I think I've got them mixed up then.
Troll B is the one in the northwest corner. C was the one in the center.
I'm talking about C.
Okay, so C was in the center by the slime.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get out towards the party.
Yeah, put him wherever he'd be. Just put him wherever he'd be. I admit. Yeah, okay. So 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he'd be like right on the edge.
It would be 4. So let me roll the 8 then. Okay, coming in.
Sorry, I'm bad
damage.
at D&D.
No, no, that's not true.
Right.
But 22.
22.
I get the
22
reference.
points of damage as its feet are just carved up by the spiked growth. It roars in pain, but has gotten out of it. B now that I'm looking at it correctly, and I'm sorry, I thought C was in the back.
It's okay.
B is going to just take the shortest route and get out of the spike growth as well. So that's just one square out.
Appears so, yeah.
Yeah, so roll your damage for that.
Yep, and that's 6.
Right, so that was 2 squares of his movement. So he dashes, and it's supposed like 10 squares from here. That's up the tree, that's not good. Alright, so he's going to use his dash. Damn it, I've lost the creature.
He's running away from us. Do the names not pop up when you hit tab?
Yeah, but I don't see him.
Oh, he's farther west of us. Or no, north of us. I see Troll B. Troll B's over here. Oh, there you go.
But yeah, he would have moved forward towards, skirting the outside of the circle. With the last of his dash. That one's already done. That one's already done. Okay, Tyee, you're up. Talgar, you're on deck.
Yeah. I will move up over here by Karlish, if I can grab my fucking character. Like right there-ish. Sure, right there-ish. Anyway. And then I will produce flame at Troll C.
Okay.
One sec, I need more measuring, sorry. Yes, okay, I'm in range. Alright, good. 14 hit.
14 does not hit.
Okay, that'll end my turn.
Talgar, you are up. As this troll is now in melee range in front of you.
I'm gonna feel a little enmity coming through me, and I'm gonna swing on him.
Okay.
So 18 to hit on the first one.
That does hit.
It's me 17 damage.
He has 17 HP, so how do you want to do it?
Nice.
I'm gonna chop his legs out from under him because he's so big I can't reach very high.
Okay, you just sever it, and it falls over. Added to the arrows and blood loss, it does not take long for him to expire.
Alright, for the rest of my turn, I'm gonna move towards B, get in range. And I'm gonna swing on it. Also feeling some enmity towards him. Oh shit, I just went back, hold on. So 20 to hit, dirty 20.
20 hits.
That'll be 11 damage. That'll be my turn.
Okay. End of the round. Karl, you're up. Vesmir on deck.
Excuse me. I was following that. I did had. Oh no, B was the one with the net, right? That's the one I've been shooting.
You were shooting A, I believe.
A is down, the one you were shooting.
I was shooting one with a net, and so I was. I
That was A, dude. Yep.
Okay, great. Bonus action, we're going to move our Hunter's Mark to C, just because he's the nearest one to me, and take our shots.
B as in boy.
B
That
is
is a
dog.
20. Oh, sorry. C is in cat.
Okay.
Is what I'm shooting.
C.
C is in
Sorry.
koi.
C as
C
in
is in
seam. Yeah, C as in seam. No.
So it's 20 to hit on C as in Charlie. So I presume that hits.
Yes, it does.
Jeez, these damage rolls, man. 9 plus. No, that's okay. 15 damage on the first shot, taking our second shot. I feel like I need to reload my
How
browser.
much
between
damage on the
this
first one?
15.
15. Alright, 15 on Charlie.
Okay, so you're going to see a whole bunch of random rolls. There was a crit there that's not really a crit because apparently it recorded 2 clicks instead of 1. So the second one is ignore that. The first actual roll is the 23 one. That's the one that actually went first. So 23 to hit on the second shot. That's going to hit. Oh man, a 1 and a 2? Are you serious? So second shot does a total of 7 damage. And then that will conclude my turn.
What happened to your artillery cannon? The creature
Man.
is bloodied.
Okay, Tyee, gonna need you to roll some dice in a second.
Perfect.
I am
Karl,
going...
if you're up, Vesmir, or I'm sorry, Karl, if you're done, Vesmir, go ahead.
Yep.
Vinny, you're on deck.
I am casting Magic Missile at level 3. It's going to hit Roll C 3 times, pushing it 15 feet into the spike growth.
Alright.
Give you total damage in a second.
You want winged monkeys? Because this is how you get winged monkeys.
It takes 9 damage total and is pushed 15 feet into spike growth.
I have Moonbeam for that. So it doesn't move 15 feet into the spike growth?
Yep. C, not B.
So you're moving him to where here?
Yeah, just 15 feet into the sphere.
15 into the sphere. Jesus. Okay, so it's 3 from where he was at. So
Okay.
Tyee, three across the thing. But you know what? It counts as difficult terrain since
It just says it moves him 5 feet. He's not
he's not
walking
using his
5
movement. Yeah, okay, he's been blown out. Okay, fine.
That's 20 damage.
Oof. See, is looking very bloody.
These plants are out damaging me, which, yeah, okay. I'll go back to my corner.
Devin, this dubstep. Fight music.
It's just, I don't know, it's just called 2 hours of epic battle music.
Feels epic.
Okay, so Vinny, you're up.
Vinny's just gonna point at Troll B and go ding dong, and he's gonna cast Troll the Dead. Wisdom saving throw for Troll B.
15.
Was he Baned or was it just A and C Baned?
A and C were Bane.
Damn it. All right, nothing happens then, and that ends my wasted turn.
Okay. So the corpse of A, with its severed leg, the severed leg begins to close, some of the arrow holes begin to close, and it begins to stir once more.
Troll's gonna troll.
It will use half its movement to stand up.
The leg?
Yeah, just the leg.
No, the troll. And then it will hop to Devon. And will swing 3 times on Talgar.
Oh.
Minus D4.
A reaction. Oh, I'll do one. You want to do the other?
Well, it's minus D4 to all of them because
Oh.
he's Baned.
Yeah. I'll give him. I'll use my reaction and give him a negative D6 on one of them.
Okay.
Maybe the first one. Yeah, sure.
Okay, so he rolls a 13 to hit.
Well, it's gonna
Strength.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It swings again. It rolls a 15, doesn't hit. And the last time is an 18 minus the blah blah blah, but it still doesn't hit, so it doesn't matter. Troll B.
What's he doing?
He is going to adjust his movement. As you see his superficial wounds and feet begin to heal as he adjusts his movement to come into base-to-base contact with both Talgar and Vinny. He's going to swing twice on Vinny and once on Talgar. 15 to hit Vinny.
That misses.
21 to hit Talgar.
Miss?
16 to hit Talgar, misses again. Control C. It's a really shitty fucking spot. He's gonna look around and decide to just not move. Instead, he's going to cup his hands to his mouth and begin to roar as loud as he can. Tyee, you are up. Talgar on deck.
Yeah. I want him to stop yelling. So I'm gonna hit him with a guiding bolt.
Okay.
Does a 20 hit?
20 does hit.
13 radiant damage. And he glows.
He is glowing in the spiked growth pit. He is not looking good at all. He stops yelling for a brief moment, and then summons a little bit more energy to continue yelling.
Does the radiant damage seem to do anything to his regeneration?
You'll have to wait till the beginning of his next turn to find out.
Fair. Okay. Oh, and yeah, I'll stay where I am.
Okay, Talgar, you're up. Karl, you're on deck.
Alright, Talgar is going to swing on B. $25 to hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
It's going to be 17 damage.
Okay.
And attack number 2, another 17. That's going to be 14 damage.
Okay.
And that'll do it.
Karl, you're up.
Yeah. Shit. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Charlie is the screamer, right?
One in the
Yes.
spike pit is screaming like an idiot.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Because Charlie is the one I put my hunter's mark on already. So, good. Because I kind of wanted to silence that thing, for all the good it'll do. But anywho, we're gonna shift our. God, I wish I had more damage types than Pierce, but you know what? That's all we got. Yep, shooting Charlie.
It is glowing.
To make you. Well, I've already got
Super
advantage.
advantage.
But here's a question: Would my shots burn that advantage? I mean, it kind of doesn't matter. I'm going to probably shoot it either way.
The very
but
next attack. It didn't
the
matter.
very next attack. Shoot. Well, sorry. I already have advantage. So 22 is going to hit. That will hit. That. Oh, come on, stupid. God damn it. It's rolled it twice. Ignore the second roll. The problem is I need to actually clean my mouse because it's totally the mouse is truly double clicking, because it's annoying as hell. Oh, weird.
Also rolling Talespire.
Yeah, I may do that. So do you guys see that in the log? I see 3 damage rolls.
Yeah, it's really confusing.
I would
wait
take
for you to tell me the number.
So I only see 1. I see the third one. So we're going to go with that plus the other one. So that's going to be a 15 damage on the first shot.
Yeah. 15 on the first shot.
Second shot,
This was going to who?
Charlie.
Oh, okay, hold on. I walked away for a second. Get some nerds. Alright, you're shooting Charlie for 15 damage. Charlie
And the second shot
falls to the ground and is no longer screaming.
Okay, then between okay, this will be an interesting. Between Alpha and Bravo, which looks more hurt?
Oh, Alpha's definitely more fucked up. He's missing a leg.
He's the one that was missing the leg. We're shooting Alpha, which was a 20. It was probably enough to beat the AC. It was like a 20 something, 22 to hit. So Alpha is going to get. He does not get the D6. He gets 9 damage, and that
Alpha
would
gets
conclude
9
my
damage. Okay.
Yep.
You squarely shoot him between the shoulder blades with an arrow. He screams, but he's still on his feet somehow.
That's it. I'm done.
Vesmir, you're up. Vinny, you're on deck.
Okay, could I burn my action to do like a history, insight, or investigation check to see if I know how and
That
why
would be
they're
it would be a nature check.
nature check? No problem. 20, unnatural 20.
You know that trolls, the regeneration can be interrupted with acid or fire damage.
I yell this out to the party. You must burn them. They need fire or acid to stop the regeneration. And that is my turn.
Vinny, you are up.
All right, I'll take the one and I'll go point at Troll C, and I'm like, just stay down, you idiot. And I cast Vicious Mockery, Wisdom save of 14.
Oh, for Troll C is on the ground incapacitated.
Oh, I thought you said he was still, or Troll A then.
No, Troll A. Okay.
That's right.
And what am I rolling?
Wisdom save.
He rolls a 5.
So he takes. Damn it. There we go. Ooh, 7 points of psychic damage.
He grabs at his head and falls over and is not moving.
Hey. Well, how far away? I can't see him on the map. How far away is he from me?
He's like on the other side of the tree.
Oh, then that's my action, and I'll stay put.
Okay. So Troll A stands back up. Troll C stands back up. And Troll A will swing on Mindleak 3 times. 22 to hit.
Miss.
12 to hit. 13 to hit. Okay, B is going to swing once on Vinny and twice on Talgar. Vinny. 14 to hit.
Miss.
Talgar. Miss and miss. These guys suck. C is going to stand there, not sure what to do, and just go into a defensive posture. Tyee, you're up. Talgar on deck.
Yeah, seeing that my buddies are kind of getting swarmed by Troll A and Troll B, I will 30 feet, sorry. Yeah, I'll move up to about there-ish, and I will attack Troll A with Produce Flame.
Okay.
Does a 18 hit?
It does.
Alright. For 8 fire damage.
Okay. So it's charred. It looks really fucked up, but still standing on its one leg.
And that should end my turn.
Okay. Talgar, you're up.
Alright, I'm bonus action going to cast Searing Smite. And attack B.
Right.
27 to hit.
That hits.
Alright, that's 13 damage, and then
It is bloodied.
takes an additional 4 fire damage. And he's now on fire. And I'm going to swing on him a second time. So at a 19 to hit.
Well, that hits.
And that'll be 10 damage.
All right. Anything else?
That is it.
Karl, you're up.
Sorry. Which one was on fire, Alpha or Bravo? I didn't.
Bravo is on fire.
We're gonna shoot Bravo, even though my hunter's mark's on Charlie. So you know, it is what it is.
Okay.
So don't trust that. I'll tell you the damage. The damage will come through, but it won't be accurate all the time.
Just give me the number. It has an AC of 15.
Yep, giving you the number. First shot's a 20. It's going to hit. The damage is... Actually, this will be accurate, because it'll be sneak attack. 15 damage to Bravo.
15.
15.
All right. He looks very bloody.
Okay, yeah, if he's still up, we're taking our second shot on him as well. Ooh, that might not hit. What's that going to... 15 to hit. I think that misses.
Meets beats.
Oh. That is 9 damage.
It has 8. This is on Bravo?
Bravo, correct.
Yeah, it has 8 HP left, so it goes down.
And a ball of fire. And that's all I can do. That's all I got.
Okay, Vesmir, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to shoot a. So, just judging by the modules that are standing, Control C still standing?
Yes. In a defensive posture.
Defensive posture, right. Then I will attempt to hit it with a Ray of Frost. Obviously, that's disadvantage. Oh, so close. 13 to hit.
Nope.
And that concludes my turn. Actually, I want to do bonus action. I'm gonna get closer, so I'm within 30 feet, and I am going to bonus action with my hand trip, mage hand, attempt to shove it 5 feet. It is a strength saving throw DC 16.
You can do that with your mage hand?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy.
It's actually a feat I took, telekinetic feat.
He rolls a 15.
That's a fail. He gets shoved 5 foot, so that's 2d4 spike growth damage.
On C?
Yes.
6 damage.
Vinny, you are up.
All right, and sorry for the clarification. Is Troll A up or down?
Troll A is up, looking very hurt and a little singed.
But okay. And Troll B is down and on fire.
Yes.
Okay. So first, I'm going to disengage and get a little bit of distance. And then I'm going to look at Troll A. And I'm actually going to throw one of my alchemist fire flasks at it.
Okay.
So I guess I roll a ranged attack.
Yep.
I'll do it this way. Oh, that's a nat 20.
That hits. Double the damage.
So it's only 6 points of fire damage, and I believe he is on fire. He takes 1d4 at the start of his turn.
And that was doubling your dice?
Yeah, those two. Because he only gets 1d4 fire
Right.
damage at the. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Well, you smack him in the face with it. It bursts, sending shards of clay into his eyes and fire all over his face and down his chest. It screams. He only had 2 HP left. And falls
Oh,
forward
wow.
and stops moving.
Nice.
With his Troll C, and unfortunately nobody lit him on fire. So he does heal a little bit.
Nobody lit him on fire
That's
yet.
poor thing.
It was going to take the shortest route out. That is 2 squares. Roll me some damage, Tyee.
He was in the center, yeah?
No.
No, he got pushed past.
Ah, thank you.
How much damage for 2 tiles?
Yep, 11 damage.
Oof. Not looking good. That would have been 4. He is going to run with dash that way. That would be his turn. Tyee, you're up. Talgar on deck.
Yeah, I'll still maintaining concentration. I'll just tell everybody he's going to get too far away from me. I cannot get him with fire from here. I won't be able to catch him if he's running. And battle on my turn.
Talgar, you're up.
Alright, I'm going to move around the edge of the spikes towards him. Stuck in a tree.
You don't have to be super exact. Just eyeball it if you need to.
Okay, and then I'm going to cast Hold Person on him.
Okay.
Must succeed a Wisdom saving throw of 13.
Wisdom saving throw 13. He rolls a 3.
He is now paralyzed.
He just stops mid-run. Anything else?
That'll do it.
Karl, you're up. You just see him freeze like mid stride.
I was going to take some. Actually, we'll take some movement anyway, just in case. I'd measured out 6 tiles. I really do wish this had the feature from Foundry where you could do, once you measure it, you just hit spacebar and your tile moves there, your duder moves there. That is really handy.
You can hit, you shift click to teleport, but no.
That's true. All right, anyway, moving near him. Oh, jeez, I gotta unclick it. Go away! I think it's about right there. Taking our shots. I mean, if it's paralyzed, I'm pretty sure that's a crit. Oops, I think that's a crit. All right, it's 25 to hit, so that's going to hit. So yeah, I guess this is the question: are these guaranteed crits or are they not?
You roll at advantage to attack. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit. If the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature.
Okay, so ranged or not criticals.
That is correct.
Got it. No worries. We'll roll damage as usual.
But you still get advantage.
Yeah, I did. I did roll an advantage, which So yeah, it was not a crit, but it was 20. What was that? 24, 20. It definitely beat his AC.
Okay.
But yeah, damage incoming. Thankfully, this is Charlie, so he's still got my hunter's mark on him. Ooh, that's a nice damage roll. That plus. That is a 20 damage on the first shot.
Well, he goes down.
There we are. Got a nod approvingly, and that'll conclude my turn.
Okay, Vesmir, you're up.
So he's prone.
That is correct.
I wouldn't get within 30 feet of him. I'm gonna try and attempt to shoot a ray of frost at him with. Is he on fire? He's not on fire, is he?
This one has not been burned.
Okay, I'm rolling a range attack at disadvantage. Oh, 19 and a natural 20, so 27 to hit.
He doesn't go prone. Whole person just holds them straight up, like he's paralyzed. Oh, but he's down.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm with you.
Basically, I just
But if he's down, is he held up by hold person? I don't know these things.
Judges?
I don't.
I'm not sure it's that important.
Concentration. Devin, what's it say?
Let's see.
Either way, I wouldn't kill him. Not enough damage.
I know some
more
spells.
just-
It just says it's a
Paralyzed for the
wisdom saving
duration.
throw.
So it's paralyzed, even bleeding out for fucking 1
A
minute.
minute.
I just pull it 5 feet back towards the group. That's all. And that's what that.
Vinny, you're up.
I'm just going to use my movement and my action to dash and get up to the creature.
Alright, you're able to do so.
And I'll just do this silly little goblin war cry. I'm like, ah! And that ends my turn.
Alright. Well, it regenerates. It is paralyzed. But it gets a wisdom save at the end of its turn. And rolls a 14.
That beats it.
It is no longer paralyzed. Hi, you're up.
All right. So
But
I
it's
will
still
drop.
prone.
I'll drop my concentration,
Okay, spike growth down.
and I'll move up. I'll still be out of range to do anything helpful at this point, but I'm getting there, and that'll end my turn. No, I'll dodge.
Okay. Talgar, you're up.
It looks like I can get within melee range of him. All right, so I'm gonna cast my burning thing, Searing Smite,
All right.
and I'm gonna swing on it. Is it down or is it back up?
It is prone.
So that'd be an advantage.
Yes.
Oh, wow, 13 to hit.
You miss.
One more try. That'll be 24 to hit.
That definitely hits.
It's 11 damage, and then he's on fire, and that's gonna be 6 points of fire damage.
You kill it, and it is no longer regenerating.
Woo!
Nice work.
All right. We are out of combat.
I searching for treasure.
So some of the corpses are pretty burnt up at this point, and pretty mangled. But this particular one in front of you, you find that it have some troll rations of berries and fungus and dead rabbits and all kinds of things. And other than that, it had a net and a club. Around its neck, though, is a beaded medallion. Primitive looking, but the medallion is of a purple hand.
How many troll rations?
Anyone know? Oh, you want troll ration?
Talgar will take the net and put it in his backpack.
2 troll rations.
Yay!
So I grab the medallion. Yeah. Anybody know anything about the net? Or not net? The net I don't care about. I care about the medallion.
I mean, it's a pretty cool net.
The best made net.
And you take the medallion?
Yeah, well, I want to hold it up to the group. Like, does anybody know anything about this symbol?
What is the symbol?
Purple hand. Here, look. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you see wooden and stone beads strung together on a leather strap, and in the middle is a primitively hammered silver circle and a purple handprint on it, like a little miniature purple handprint.
Would that seem familiar in any of our experiences?
You can roll religion.
I'm not religious, so I wouldn't know.
Nature, maybe?
A nat 20 on the religion check?
Nat 20 on the religion?
Yeah.
It looks like some type of like shaman blessing.
Shaman.
It sounds like a quest hook. Let's go after it.
Well, there must be more of these things. It wasn't roaring to, to help us.
It's
was
not
trying to
roaring
get
for
it-
nothing, right?
It wasn't roaring for nothing, and it was running this way.
Yeah, this symbol is very much shaman. They make these. They're kind of like druids, but worse.
Wonder if that's what was causing your regeneration.
That's troll stuff. Is there any connection between shaman and the undead? Like, in general? Are they typically known to blah?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think more like necromancy is the dead body, but shamanism is the spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyone wants the necklace? It's really pretty.
It should be very careful about that. You never know what these shaman are up to, and for God's sake, a troll had it.
You're
Just
right.
put it in the bag.
I'll put it around my
I
neck.
don't want it.
Okay.
It's all you, buddy.
Disappointed Tyee meme. Vinny.
It's a medallion of the high five, right? High five.
Oh, Vincent.
Yeah, you put it around your neck. It cinches closed, and no, you just put it on. No problem.
Does Vinny seem okay?
Yeah, Vinny seems fine.
Now I'm the shaman.
Actually, there might be a shaman around here, but who knows? Who knows? How long ago this could have been given or done. But anyway, we have business.
It is getting dark.
Is everybody okay?
I don't think any of us
I'm
got hurt.
fine.
I hate saying.
Yeah, I don't think any of us got hit.
Okay.
I should not have said.
Oh
that.
yes, it's getting dark. We can press on a little bit more, and then maybe we can use the hut.
As you'd weigh this decision, you hear a call in the distance, kind of echo through the forest. Sounded very much like what C sounded like.
Anyone for a
Sure.
sleepover?
No.
Because that's what it sounds like.
Vinny, that hut, it hides us, yes?
It's not invisible. I mean, you could come upon it and see it and just sit around it.
Hmm.
But from what I've seen, it is not see-through from the outside. It is opaque.
It's opaque, so they know it's there. They just don't know what's inside.
Can
Oh,
the
what-
color be blended with the surroundings a little bit? Make it a little bit harder to see?
Well, I tell you what we do. Why don't we? I'll cast a spell. We'll go off into the woods a little bit. Mask our trail. We'll shut up the hut, and we'll hunker down.
Sounds like a good plan.
Oh, I could
And
say.
I'll kind of open my pack. It's like, it's actually some bottles of lamp oil from, I think it was Long Saddle, the town we were defending. If you guys remember, I went out and actually pilfered it from an alchemist shop. Highly flammable. We could set an ambush and make a whole bunch of noise.
Can you do it quickly?
We can try. So my intent here. Go ahead.
I'll guide him.
So the intent here is along the. Oh, go ahead. I heard Seraphic say something. Oh, sorry. Or somebody. I thought I heard somebody. So, Callie, the intent here is I have in my notes even that I managed to pilfer flammable liquids, lamp oil, and ether. From actually I think it was Oakhurst is where we were holed up. You gave it to me. I kept note of it, and I kind of want to pour it along the ground. And what I'm thinking here is like if Talgar makes a bunch of noise and we get them to come in, light an arrow and light it up under them. What do you think?
You could try.
Certainly try. So yeah, the whole idea is keeping a piece of. I only have one shot to light it. That's the expectation. So putting like some cloth around it, soaking it in the fluids. I'll look at everybody and say, so that's the plan. That's what I'm thinking. What do you? Are we on board?
I'm not sure that this plan is as good as you seemed it would be. Can I do a nature check or survival check to tell how damp the forest is?
Sure.
21.
Yeah, I mean, it's a forest. It's kind of damp, but ether and lamp oil and stuff burn, especially the lamp oil. You could successfully set it up. You know, it's not napalm. It's not a claymore going off.
Right. My concern with this check is that the surrounding forest would catch fire and the whole thing burns down, and I want to avoid that.
It could spread maybe a little bit, but it's there's low risk of starting like a forest fire.
Okay. I'm okay with
Smokey the Bear approves.
it. we're preventing further forest fires by, getting rid of some of the undergrowth.
Controlled burn.
That's the one.
Or Talgar, do you think you could make the same that same roaring noise and convince? You think it could be convincing enough to bring our troll buddies this way?
Can definitely try.
I mean, I don't think that would be necessary if we just set fire to the corpse and the smell travel that direction. I mean, that's as good as any.
If we want to set a trap, we don't want to waste our fuel.
Well, I mean, I was just offering suggestion. Is not.
Oh yes,
Well,
we're
we ain't
brainstorming.
We ain't got much time though, and I don't know how many of them want to come say hello.
Well, the real question is, do we fight or do we hide? We don't know how many there are, and we don't have a lot of fire between us.
Yeah, I'm very limited on the fire that I've got left.
Let me do this much, and then as we're discussing all this, I cast the dome. It only takes a minute to cast it. Let me
Just casting it like right off the side of the trail, or y'all?
Well, yeah, just off the side of the trail.
Okay.
Now, this is here just in case. I have to stay inside the dome to maintain it. But if you want to go out and attack, then you can do that and I'll come out. Otherwise, this is a backup if you say, let's just use the dome. It's already here.
Well, I mean, setting them on fire is a good idea. Don't believe I should be using ice storm. This may hinder the effects we are trying to achieve.
So we're gonna maybe set the trap and hide in the dome.
Well, the problem is they're such large creatures that if there's enough of them, they could just surround the dome and then, well,
And
we
wait.
bigger problems.
It's true, we don't know how many there are.
I say we do what we just did. We set the trap, we keep our distance, and we be prepared.
Sounds good.
So while this is a forest, right? I want to look around. Are there any visible birds in the tree above me?
Yeah, there's birds that are, just like a forest. There's no like giant eagles. I know there's a nest at the top of the map, but that's just there.
I'm going to spend my one a day option, and I'm going to cast Speak with Animals. And I'm going to call up to one of them and say, "Hey, bird!" And I'll take one of my rations out. You want some extra food? I got a really easy thing. Come here.
He kind of jumps down. Food?
Yeah. So I break off like a whole, like half a ration. I mean, I'm going to assume it's like pemmican or some sort of
some hardtack
right.
or whatever.
So, if you fly, do you know what troll? Do you know what big smelly green? Like I'm pointing back to the corpses. Those things. Are there more of those down the way?
It caused yes.
You go tell me how many. Do you know how many there are? If you don't, if you go look and come back, if you tell me how many there are, there's this whole big ration for you.
So it flies off. It was gone for a few minutes. It comes back.
Everyone just sees me like making weird clicky
Yeah.
sounds.
It comes back after a few minutes and pushes 4 pebbles forward with its beak.
Say, I'll nod. Good work. I'll throw him the half a ration. Actually, I'll throw him the whole ration. Say, take some for your family.
It grabs a few chunks of it and flies off. Comes back, grabs another piece. But yeah, he takes the ration and stuff.
Okay, I'll look back. So we have 4 trolls to deal with. You saw what 3 did, and if one of them is a shaman...
Yeah, based on how long he was gone, they don't seem to be too far away.
Okay, good to know. I have to say, fellas, I'm leaning towards not fighting this set.
I'm starting to agree. I think we should get off the trail and hide in the dome.
Sounds
Well, yeah,
like
sure.
a plan.
Let's do that then. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I will cast Pass Without a Trace, and I think that we should move an hour into the forest, and then set up the dome.
Well, Vinny's already set up a dome.
Well, I have spell slots, so I can do another.
Okay.
And I can do
We
a
definitely
ritual
need to
if
move out of
needed.
this area, and that way nobody can track us or anything to where the dome is.
Okay. So you begin moving quickly through the jungle, off the game trail, making good progress.
We also grabbed the horses.
Oh, okay. So you go back and get the horses. And lead them off into the forest, or ride them off into the forest an hour away.
They can't get in the dome, by the way.
This is fine. It's more that they were tied to the trees on the open path. They did not fare well for their survival.
Yeah, just saying.
It's bad.
Does Pass Without a Trace affect the horses?
It's a number.
It's everybody within a certain radius gets affected.
Yeah, you and your companions, each creature you choose, 30 feet of you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it affects everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the party moves, leaving no path behind. The foliage kind of folds back. The footprints disappear. And the party moves an hour off and does not encounter anything else. You do hear as you move off, the trolls move down the path. You can hear when they discover the body and cry out in anguish. They fan out, beating the underbrush, but you're a few steps ahead, and that slowly fades behind you. You find yourself an hour later at a nice little place by a stream. It's a small clearing. Things seem calm. There's been no other signs of trolls. It is getting quite dark at this point. And Vinny, you cast the dome,
Yep, I cast the dome.
and the party takes shelter.
We'd definitely do a series of watches during the night, make sure that the horses are fine.
Okay. Well, what else is the party doing?
If the sun's already set, I don't think we'd do much rather than just prepare camp and good night rest.
Agreed.
Okay, well, mechanically, you make it through the evening with no interruptions. The sounds of the forest, and, owls and so forth, but no trolls, no other creatures. And first light starts breaking through the branches as your long rest comes to an end. And this is probably a good place for us to stop.
Yeah, it's a good session. Nice
The
and
wrong
long.
button.
Like and subscribe.
I can subscribe.